It is Star Wars week at Wired, which means it is Star Wars week on the monitor. And this week, in your favorite hive of scum and villainy, i.e. right here, we've got Star Wars goodies galore. We're going to start with a comic book. Now, Dark Horse Comics has been publishing Star Wars titles for a while now. They've licensed the universe, and so they can kind of do what they want with it. But beginning last month, artist Carlos Danda and writer Brian Wood began a new ongoing series just called Star Wars. And it takes place with the original trilogy characters, and the comic book begins right after the original Star Wars movie, aka Episode 4, A New Hope, and it involves the Rebellion and Vader. What's nice about this is it takes the characters that you know from the trilogy, but instead of just doing ridiculous out there stuff like the expanded universe tends to do, it kind of strikes a balance. So yeah, you've got Luke and Leia kind of patrolling the Outer Rim territories looking for a new world to base the rebellion on, but you also have all the dynamics and all the relationships that already exist. So you don't feel like you're being led down the primrose path with this. You're not being asked to invest in a bunch of new characters. There are new characters. Specifically, Leia puts together a sneak squadron of rebel pilots doing something very, very for your eyes only. That is in the new issue, which actually comes out this week. Episode 1 began in January, and Episode 2, Star Wars #2, is out this week, so definitely pick that up. So that's it for comics. We're actually going to talk about tabletop games. Now, in the world of tabletop games, there's a publisher called Fantasy Flight, and they have the rights to the Star Wars brand, so they've been putting out a lot of great Star Wars games recently, from RPGs to card games, and a game came out last fall, the core set. It's called X-Wing Miniatures. It is a miniature-based kind of aerial dogfighting game in which one player plays the Empire, the Imperial fighters, and another player plays the Rebel Alliance, and you set up your ships and you assign pilots to them. If you have the X-Wing fighters, say, you could be Luke Skywalker, or you could be Biggs, or you could be any number according to the cards that are supplied with the set. And then through a series of secret, known only to you moves planned in advance and action sequences, you engage the other side in aerial combat, you exchange blows, you can barrel roll, there are hits, there are critical hits, there are evasion moves. It's actually way more tense and fun than it sounds. I'm not a huge miniatures guy, at least in the kind of swords and sorcery world, but I love this because it kind of lets you play with spaceships just like you did when you were 7, but their stakes are higher. I don't know why the stakes are higher. The stakes are higher because you're in your 30s. Or I am, but still, it's a lot of fun. Definitely recommend picking this up. The expansion packs, including Slave One Boba Fett ship and Millennium Falcon and a couple of other smaller ships, will be coming out in the next month, I believe. But the core set and the other expansions are more than enough to get started. Really a lot of fun. That is X-Wing Miniatures from Fantasy Flight Games. Let's talk about pinball. Are you a pinball wizard? Do you play by sense of smell? I don't. I have my sight, I have my hearing, I can speak. I'm not Tommy, but I do love pinball, and Zen Games, who is behind a lot of the better video game pinball simulators, is just putting out a new Star Wars table pack. It includes 3 tables, one for Boba Fett, one for Empire Strikes Back, and one for Clone Wars, which for my money is pretty much the 3 most badass options you can have when looking at Star Wars pinball. What's nice about these is the graphics are fantastic. The pinball physics are really, really, really good for the most part. What I like about it is with so many pinball games and apps, at least for Xbox or iPad or what have you, it's sometimes tough to parse out what you need to do to get X bonus or to activate Y thing. But with the Star Wars games, I actually got a really instinctive feel for it pretty early on. My favorite so far is the Empire Strikes Back table, which has this great thing. You can trigger a stormtrooper levitating out of the table and then shooting at your secondary flippers with a photon blaster, which is really a lot of fun, and you try to take them down. Anyway, that is coming out in, I believe, 2 weeks. It is from Zen Games. It'll be out for console downloadables. It'll be out for Android, tablets, iPad, I believe PC, a lot of stuff. A new trailer is going up this week, and that is from Zen Games, the Star Wars Pinball Pack. And that's it for the monitor. I mean, we're going to be back probably with some non-Star Wars stuff next week, but until then, may the Force be with you.